Hi, my name is Jonathan. Welcome back to the channel. My iPhone 11 Pro is now due for an upgrade. It is 2 years old and the iPhone 13 has just launched. So the question is it sensible to upgrade from an 11 to a 13? And if so, which model do I go for?
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
For me, the smartphone is probably the ultimate EDC item. And therefore, when it comes to changing it to one I'm going to have to live with probably for the next 2 years, I have to make the right choice. And it is a bit of a dilemma. I am embedded in the Apple ecosystem, but I don't mind that because I really like the way it all works. And I've always had iPhones from the very first one. So when it comes to the iPhone 13, there are 3 different models to choose from. There's the iPhone 13, which also includes the 13 mini. There's the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. Now the Pro Max I immediately rule out because I am all about, as you'll know if you've watched my other videos, finding ways to carry things which are more lightweight, more compact, and the Pro Max just takes it in completely the opposite direction. And so that's an easy decision. And then it gets more difficult. And what I've been stuck between has been whether I go for the 13 mini or the 13 Pro. The mini ticks one of the most important features for me in all my everyday carry needs, and that is size and weight, pocketability. So really, that should be the choice for me. But I've actually gone for the iPhone 13 Pro. The mini, despite the fact that it has this sort of ultimate feature of compact form factor, it has some compromises, and those compromises in the end were too much. I guess before we compare the Pro with the mini, we should first look at whether it's worth upgrading in the first place. Or to put it another way, what are the benefits of the 13 over the 11? The benefits you get with the 13 Pro are a faster processor, you have a better, brighter, smoother screen, which in sunlight can make a big difference, and you have a better battery life. And the difference is around 4 hours, according to the information. And that's huge. If you've ever run low on battery when you really need the phone, then you'll appreciate how important that is. And then the other huge change is in the camera system. Look at the change in the size of the lens array. The lenses have got much bigger, they've got much more prominent, they protrude now a few millimeters, maybe 3 or 4, whereas they're almost flat on the 11. And I rely on the camera quite a lot, mainly for stills, but I also use it for some video. And the benefits here with this new camera system are a longer reach telephoto lens going up from 2 times to 3 times. It's got better image stabilization. It's got more sensitive sensors for lower light performance. It has wider apertures on 2 of the lenses, which allow for better low light performance and improved control over the depth of field. And ultimately, the image quality is much better. I think the upgrade from the 11 to the 13 can easily be justified. But I guess the big question now is, why didn't I go for the 13 mini? Bearing in mind it is more compact, lighter weight, more pocketable, and I guess more everyday carry. Well, it comes down to 3 things, and they are battery life, camera, and screen. The difference in battery life between the Pro and the Mini is about 3 hours. And that is quite a big difference. If you're out and about and use it for navigation and you're actively accessing the GPS, then you want the best battery capacity you can get. So that's one thing that persuaded me in the direction of the Pro. You get an extra lens on the Pro that you don't get on the Mini, and that's a telephoto lens, and that's the one I'm finding I'm using more than the others. The other thing that comes with the Pro is the macro mode. That macro mode where you can get in really, really close, I think is a great feature to have in any camera, and it works really well in the Pro here. And again, I think I would really miss that in the Mini. Those are 2 key reasons. And then we come down to the screen. The Mini is 5.4 across the diagonal in inches, and the Pro is 6.1. There are several reasons why this screen makes more sense to me than the Mini. Obviously, with the Mini, you've got the form factor, which is a real driver for me ordinarily. But sometimes the practicality takes precedence. And what you find with a bigger screen is that it is easier to read. And like me, when you're getting a little bit older and your eyesight's becoming a bit more challenging, you know, when you're trying to hit a small QWERTY keyboard accurately, if it's a little bit bigger, then it's a little bit better. Not only that, if you are, for example, looking at a map and you are navigating using that map, this is Northern Survey map, then it's really useful to have that bigger screen because you can see more of your route, you can see more of where you're going, and I use this an awful lot when I'm out and about. This is kind of my go-to navigation app for when I'm walking, and a bigger screen is like having a bigger map. It's just more useful. And the same is true of something like TomTom, which is my go-to driving navigation app. If I'm using TomTom, the phone is attached to the dashboard, and if the phone is small, it's harder to read. It's as simple as that. It comes down to a compromise with the 13 Pro. The 13 Pro Max is just too big for me, so it just becomes too unwieldy to carry as an EDC or an everyday carry tool. But the Mini kind of just takes it a little bit too far. I love the pocketability, but I need that bigger screen. I watch quite a lot of YouTube videos on here, probably more so than I do on the laptop because I tend to do it when I'm out and about. So having a bigger screen is kind of a benefit there as well. In addition to that, this has something called ProMotion Display, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's variable, so it actually has some benefits over battery life as well. Just scrolling around, you immediately see that it is smoother. This camera is recording at 25 frames a second, and to show the difference between 60 hertz refresh rate and 120, you just won't pick it up on this video. But take it from me, it just feels smooth. It's subtle in a way, hard to describe. And what I've picked up from looking into this is that when people first start using this, they can see it has a kind of benefit in terms of it's really smooth and nice, but you don't really feel it's a game changer. But I hear that if you then go back to a 60 hertz refresh, then it really feels like you are missing something, that something's not working right. So it's nice to have that. It feels really smooth. It's really good. It's not the reason for me why I've picked this over the Mini, but it kind of nudges it in that direction. And then when you factor in the bigger screen, which is actually from a practical point of view really useful, and then factor in the battery life, then factor in the telephoto lens with the macro, that kind of just pushes it all over the edge for me. One other thing I thought I'd mention is the case. So like most people, I'm going to put a case on this, and the case I am using at the moment is this one. This is a quad lock case. I don't know if you've seen these before. They are designed specifically with attaching the phone to various things in mind. Now, this video is not sponsored in any way by them, but this is a case I have used with my old phone in the past, primarily for attaching it to my bike. And I know it's a bit daft to have an expensive phone on a mountain bike, but I do really value the navigation and information I get from the bike on the screen. And I do find that if I am going to hit some challenging terrain, I will actually just take it off the bike and stick it in my backpack or pocket. This is the quad lock system I am now using in the car, and it is very secure, very high quality, and works really well. So I'm a massive fan of that. The buttons are reasonably clicky. They are softened a little bit, but it's certainly manageable. And then the really important thing, I think, and you'll find that on a lot of cases for the iPhone 13, is that it protects these lenses. These lenses protrude significantly compared to older phones from the iPhone 13. And if you don't have a case and you put it down there and move it around, you are effectively scraping the camera lenses on whatever it's sat on. And that doesn't seem like a good idea at all. So this sort of case and lots like it really protect the lenses. I think that's a great idea. As you will see, this doesn't allow for MagSafe charging, but I tend to find that type of inductive charging really slow. So if I've got the chance of plugging it in and charging it more quickly, I will tend to go that route. So yeah, I would recommend the quad lock, especially if you are attaching it to a car or a motorbike, or in my case, a mountain bike. And it comes with various other attachments as well. You can even get one to attach it to your arm, which looks pretty clumsy. And there's even a belt attachment for this, which I don't think looks very good either. But if you're into that, then you might like that as well. So yeah, that's my case of choice for the moment, the quad lock. And those are the main reasons I went for the Pro over the Mini. The great battery life, the amazing camera, and the bigger, but not too big, better screen. Let me know what you think. Have I made the right decision? And if you want to know more about what I carry day to day, then you might want to check out this video here. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.